Well, I just want to cover one more thing before I let you go. You actually have a nonprofit called Father's Care,
Yes.
and which focuses on fathers. You have 2 children of your own?
I actually have three.
3. Sorry.
Yeah. A little baby. I have Zoe. And there's Zach. Yeah, those are my kids. And man, my experience with my son has led me down a very difficult road, and it's been a really ugly experience of what the court system can do to men who really want to be in their children's lives, man. The system wasn't broken; it was designed this way. And what we try to do is we try to work with fathers, excuse me, to help them navigate through those rocky waters. There's an advocate. Her name is Kenya, NK or KN, on Instagram and on Facebook, and it's a cold-blooded hustle, man. Child support is for to support the child, not for failed relationships. And we've just witnessed how fathers have been moved out of the house since the welfare system. I was a producer on a documentary called "Where Are All the Fathers?" Where are all the fathers? And now we're in a society now where it's very difficult for a man to be a man. We're seeing, so much before our very eyes, where the protector is being removed from the home, and that's what we try to do, man. We try to make sure that, we can advocate, we can help fathers deal with the depression that comes along with the anxiety that comes along with being separated from your child. We go through just as much, they as women, but we're told, man up, be a man, Well, where do you do with these emotions, So, that's what we try to do, man. We try to work with dads, man, because dads have feelings too.
Well, yeah, I've interviewed a number of men on my show who really went through a nightmare to try to get custody of their children. Like, for example, I interviewed Matt Barnes recently, and I don't know if you know about the whole Gloria Javon thing,
Absolutely. I'm aware.
All that escalated in this crazy school parking lot fight where he ended up getting full custody of his twins. And he said it cost him about $1 million to do it. And what he said was interesting was, she got arrested over the incident. He got full custody. But fast forward to today, she never went to prison, and now they have shared custody. Whereas if it was the man in that particular role, he would have definitely gone to prison, and he would not have any custody probably for the rest of his life.
Like I said, I'm in the front passenger door. I open up the back door and walk around that door, and Carter jumps out. I reach across the car because Isaiah's sitting behind the driver, which is Gloria, to reach for Isaiah's hand, and all of a sudden she slams, like she puts the car in reverse, and like the car door hits me. I lose contact with Isaiah. I kind of stumble for a second. Isaiah falls back in the seat. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
She tries to drive the car as you're like halfway in the car.
She tries to put the car in reverse and back out. So keep in mind that this is 2 lanes of traffic at 3 o'clock where other kids are being picked up. Kids are walking, other cars are moving, all this kind of shit. I tell you, man, it's not set up for us to get our kids because it costs me a whole lot of money. You know what I mean?
How much do you spend?
Man, over $1 million.
Whoa. You spend $1 million
because there's other legal costs that I'm currently going through with her.
Absolutely. And this is where it is unfair, especially in today's world. You can't have it both ways. You can't want to be independent, want to be, on the front lines, want to be, I'm woman, hear me roar, and then also at the same time saying I'm the weaker vessel. Oh, it doesn't work. There has to be some real balance, and the system doesn't give us any balance. And Matt Barnes is a real soldier for being able to fight the way that he did. But everybody doesn't get those opportunities and those breaks. Everybody doesn't have the financial means to go into court. And to fight. Because that's what happens in court. Let's face it. You're going in, and the lawyers are the ones who really end up winning. The children don't win. The lawyers win. That's who makes all the money. I got money still on books with attorneys now in situations that I was able to navigate through. With my daughter we have a great relationship, and I just want to just say Tammy's an amazing mother, amazing woman, and we went through whatever we went through, but we were able to be wise enough to say this will affect this child's future, and we would rather have this money here for her future, for her trust fund versus child support, which is another. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna keep it real. It's another systemic tool that is used in the urban community because we don't even have the knowledge of most of us of what a trust fund is, but we know how to get somebody on child support. It's crazy, bro, and I'm just keeping it real, But we made an agreement, and we're working past all of that, and I look at what it's doing for my daughter, who's just so amazing, and big ups to her mother for being wise enough to understand that,
Well, yeah, I just had Tito Ortiz on my show, the MMA fighter, and he had twins with Jenna Jameson, the adult film star.
Yes.
And he said that it cost about $500,000 with him, but he's had full custody of his kids for the last 6 years, and she hasn't even seen her kids in those last 6 years.
In 2011, actually 2012, I ended up getting a restraining order and getting full custody of my children, and I've been a father since, and she hasn't been around in 6.5 years. And having full custody of my kids, she just walked away, and it's sad, but at the same time, she's a victim of her own self, and I try to help somebody I couldn't help, and it took me a lot of physical therapy, rehab to really get through those things with a therapist, and it's the things you got to do as a parent.
And it's just, it always gets painted a certain type of way. For a man to get custody of his children is almost unheard of.
It's almost impossible. Now, this was so cold-blooded about it with my son. I had full custody. I had custody of my son. My son lived with me. And once again, being in the media, I taught him how to write, how to read. He was reading at 2 years old. Taught him how to walk, talk, all that. And being that my life, once again, was in the public, we were able to use certain things in the public because it's unfortunately, we're in a society today where somebody can make an allegation and you have to spend all of your resources trying to prove that the allegation has no merit. It isn't innocent until proven guilty anymore. A story comes out, it's circulating, and you're stuck with that. So it's very difficult and almost impossible. But to all you fathers out there, you got to just keep fighting and understand that the opportunity will present itself. Like Matt. That was just a break that happened because a lot of times there is a certain sense of entitlement that comes along with being a custodial parent, unfortunately. And a lot of times it's used to gloat, to taunt, and to take advantage and to bully the non-custodial parent. So this is something that's very close to my heart. And anybody that's watching this interview, you reach out to me. If you can't get to me, reach out to Vlad. I'm all about that life because it's about the real best interest of children. It is better. It has been said that it's better to raise successful men than to repair broken children, broken individuals. And we're all operating out of brokenness. But we want to try and avoid the brokenness and to raise successful individuals. That's what's going to make this world a better place. That's what's going to make a proper contribution to humanity. And you ain't got to be on stage to make a proper contribution to humanity. You ain't got to be a singer, an actor. You could be raising the next president. You could be raising the next civil rights leader. You could be raising the person that cures cancer. The person, you could be raising. That's it, because it takes every kind of people, And so, I think that parenting is probably one of the most important positions on the planet, and we have to take it very seriously. And it takes a village to raise a child. I'm where I am because of my village.
Well, Darius McCrary, man, appreciate you telling your story. I think it's a very important story with ups and downs. And successes and also downfalls. And it's really, I think, in this world where everyone wants to be an actor, everyone wants to be on TV, everyone wants to be in movies, it's just very important to kind of see the steps involved to actually achieve that and then also to maintain that, because it's very easy to be a one-hit wonder in any profession, but to actually continue to do it year after year, decade after decade, like yourself, that's where you can see where the real talent actually lies.
Man, thank you, my brother. I really appreciate that. That means a lot, man. It really does. Thank you for the opportunity, man. It's always a pleasure to be able to sit down, with tastemakers, man, and people like yourself who really do understand both sides of the gambit. Because it is a gambit that we running, man, And sometimes I feel like Eddie Murphy in The Golden Child. I got the knife. Now turn on the goddamn lights. And other times, I feel like, where's Waldo? But we're going to keep on pressing, man. I feel like the hardest working man in show business today, and by the grace of God, man, we'll continue to bring smiles to faces and change hearts and lives.
No doubt. Until next time.
My man.
Peace.
Right on. Peace.